Kiss 105.3 and 1340, where hip hop and R&B lives. This is D. Sewell, the Wolf of Dixon. Y'all, it's time for Ahead of the Curve. I told y'all this year we're trying to find up and coming artists that's doing their thing that I feel gonna have a huge 2019. And y'all, tonight we got Deanty Hicthcock. I listened to his album, y'all, just a sample too. It is super dope. He has a unique style, and I'm so glad that we have him tonight. What's good, Deanty Hicthcock?
Hey man, say man, what's happening with you? Glad for y'all to have me, man.
Man, it's all great. We appreciate you, brother. Let's go ahead and get into it, Deanty. You ready, dog?
Okay, yeah.
All right, Deanty, where you from? And give me some influences growing up, you know, that helped you get your style.
I'm from the south side of Atlanta. I was about to say I was born in Greater Memorial, but I lived on the south side for most of my life over there in like Riverdale. If you heard of like Waka Flocka, 2 Chainz, Trinidad James, from the same place all of them from. So I'm about to say, of course, you know what I'm saying, they had a little bit of influence on me, but just Atlanta as a whole, man, we got so many different types of music and different type of vibes to pull off of. Like, if you're talking like from T.I. to Outkast to Kilo Ali to Thug to Future, like we just got so much in the city. Like those are my influences, the city itself.
That's super dope. And one random thing I always think is cool when I interview Atlanta artists is, you know, it's so many that's blowing up. And you were just mentioning, so is there anybody that was kind of coming up around the same time you were that you know in Atlanta?
Yeah, but so a lot of folks, if you look at Slick the Wave that we got going right now with the newer cats from a Jid to a Black to Earth Gang, like all of them, we all slick in the same like age range, and we was all coming up around the same time. You know what I'm saying? Edgewood used to be popping. I about to say rest in peace to the department store, but that was a venue that a lot of the artists that you're seeing now from the city used to frequent all the time. Like we used to be in that mug, like from Key to you remember OG Mako?
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah, but he was the first one. Exactly. He was like the first one to really pop from that Edgewood scene. And then from there, it's just so many other talented artists that came from there. 2-9 with Key and Jace. I about to say like Jid and Earth Gang, Money Making Niggas, a lot of people. Like a lot.
Deanty, this is a random question, and you know, I was listening to you talking about that. What you think it is about Atlanta? How do you think it is that one city has just so much talent? And I think of it like this, you know, we're in Arkansas and we're close to Dallas. Dallas has a few big artists, but it's nothing compared to as many that's blowing up in Atlanta. Do you know, is it any reason for that, you think?
I think it's a couple of reasons actually. Like, for one, Atlanta has been a hotbed for music for so long that I'm about to say the wave already kind of like replicates itself again and again. It's always going to be something new. And for two, there are a lot of people who move here. Like there are a lot of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not hybrids. Well, just people who move here from other cities. So we got a lot of different flavors in our city. You know what I'm saying? It's not just always Atlanta. We got a lot of different styles that come into the city that kind of influence ours too. But for the most part, like it's a self-contained wave. Like there's so much different flavor and lingo. Like when you look at sayings like no cap, a dab, and all that stuff that the industry uses and that people just use in their day-to-day, all that stuff came from Atlanta. Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of flavor.
That's so crazy. Well, Deanty, let's get back to you. I was watching an interview from you, and it was talking about how you dropped out of college, and I wanted to ask you about your college experience and what happened.
Man, college was crazy. I ain't even planning on going to college for real. Like my mama, she wanted me to go, so I went. My mama's a nurse, and she wanted me to be like a doctor. So my first year I went, and I was doing like pre-med bio, and I was good, but I hated it. It was boring. Yeah. So I switched my major from there. Then I went to graphic design, and I was trash at that, like horrible. So I switched it again, and then I went to business and marketing. But when I went to that was the year I knew I was going to drop out, so I wasn't even going to class. I got to say, but crazy enough, but right before I dropped out, I got an email from my student advisor telling me I was on track to graduate, and I would graduate that time. It was like May, that time next year. But I had already made up my mind I was finna slide. Cause I was down there in Georgia Southern, and it wasn't nothing going on, like nothing music-wise. I had to get back to the city.
And you was that close to graduating and just said, chase your dream.
That close. Man, when I'm talking about everybody in my family was on my head, but God, I already made up my mind.
So what happened next? What happened after that?
I bet so when I got back from college, I was at my mama's house for like the summertime, but she was, how that go. You know what I'm saying? You can't be back at the crib, especially like that, if you ain't got no job.
Not doing nothing. That ain't gonna work.
On the real, I dipped off. I went to work in Minnesota for like 5-6 months. I was up there building snowmobiles and four-wheelers for like 6 months.
Okay.
Stacked my money up and came back home and got right back on the music. I about to say, just kept going until we got to today. And it all started to pay off.
Man, I love that. I love when you just have a goal, stick with it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody believing in it but you know what I'm saying? You got that goal, man. I love hearing stories like that.
I ain't gonna cap though. My mama, once I had that real talk with my mama right before I went to Minnesota, like I ended up asking her, it was one question that really made her get on board with everything that I was doing. Cause it was slick, like, I ain't gonna say an argument, but it was a real heated talk. Cause I don't like to argue. I can't argue with my mama. That's still my mama. But I asked her, I was like, did you ever do the things that you wanted to do as a kid? Like, did you ever accomplish the dreams that you had as a child? And like from there, she kind of had like the blank face. And that was the moment where she was like, you know what? I can't even deprive you of that same reality of going after what you still want to do because you're fighting for it. So then she was on board.
That's so
like,
dope.
Like I say, it just felt good to have her back on board with it. That's like my biggest support system.
And I know everything changed then, your confidence in yourself and everything. Yeah, that's so dope.
Yeah.
That's so what was your next big break? Like how did you know you had something and kind of your first foot in the industry, Deanty?
First, when I came back from Minnesota, crazy enough, I ended up getting into a car accident. Coming back from working with my stepdad at this little construction spot. After I got into the car accident, the people I hit ended up paying for a drop-top Camaro. So I was riding around in this drop-top Camaro. My birthday was coming up. I was trying to flex. So I took the top down in front of my mama's house, I remember, and I recorded a freestyle video as I was taking the top down. And I put that mug on Instagram and Twitter. And from there, them jumps went crazy. Like I'm talking about, I did probably like 3 of them within a 2-week span. Charlamagne, the guy that hit me up, Wale hit me up, and somebody else hit me up. I know I'm forgetting, but it was 3 people who hit me up like in the first 2 weeks, and I was like, oh, I got something. I got something right here. So and I kept doing them, and that's when, that's when Mark Pitts hit me up from RCA, and he signed me. I about to say he had me on a flight like in a week after he hit me up. I'm signing them now.
Man, that's so crazy. One thing I heard in one of your recent interviews was you talking about tour life. And Deanty, we're in Arkansas, in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and I work with a lot of different artists. There's a lot of artists up here trying to blow up. But I want you really to explain to them about tour life. And one thing you were saying that was so interesting to me that I don't think a lot of people are prepared for. You were talking about you didn't have any time to yourself. And you was like, man, the only time I really even had to myself was on the bathroom. In the bathroom. But just talk about that for a little bit, Deanty.
I mean, bro, it's interesting. Like, tours, don't get me wrong, it's everything that you hear about. It's fun, you know what I'm saying? It's live, it's all of those things, seeing all them people, like, rock out with you to these songs. But at the same time, like, you're already detached from your home. So you're already on the road going out these different places. And while that's a good thing, too, because you get to see the world, at the same time, you get that sense of, like, homesickness. You get that sense of, like, homesickness at the same time, bro. And, like, besides literally being in the bathroom, you either in the car with somebody at all times driving, you at the shows, backstage with everybody in the on the actual tour itself, and then the rest of the time, like, you giving to the fans and being on stage, but you don't never really get any time, like, let alone to just vibe out with yourself and think. And it's just fast. Everything's fast. So that's crazy.
That's so dope. So how many tours you been on so far?
3, yeah. I'm about to say my first one ever was with this dude called J. Rain. And it was only like a 6-city tour, but it was still a tour. Then we went with Rhapsody, and that was like, a month long. Then we went with Black. That was the last tour we was just on, and that was just last year. And we finna go back out with Jid in May.
That's dope. That's dope. Yeah. But Deanty, let's go ahead and get into the project that you just dropped. And I want to let you know, 745 jamming, side hitter anthem jamming, drop that jamming, never jamming. Just talk about the album and let us know your process in putting that together, man.
Man, crazy enough, like, we've been working on that. I'm not gonna say working on that album or working on that project. We did a lot of those songs over time. Like, I think the newest song on there is probably the one with Childish Major on the Change For You joint.
Okay.
But one thing I'm learning about, like, the industry as time goes on is, like, sample clearances suck.
Yeah.
And that's the worst part of this industry to me. Like, 'cause you gotta sit so much time just waiting on folks to clear stuff. So yeah, I'm about to say the project in itself, we hadn't put it all together, but some of them songs have been done for like a year and a half. The oldest one I think was like 2 years old. I think the first one we had done off the project was Side Hitter Anthem. No, take it back. I'm sorry. Feelings, but not the new version with her. We got her to do it.
Okay.
But the inspiration behind it is just like love. I'm about to say the trials and tribulations that come with it over time. So I know you done been in a situation where you done been in love, right?
Straight up.
I know you done been in a situation where the other person loved you more than you loved them, and you ended up, you know what I'm saying, doing some rah-rah stuff, cheating, whatever the case is. Like, we all done had all them situations in love where it's like we head over heels, where it's like we don't know what we doing, where it's like, dang, we feel bad because we might love two people or something like that, feel like we love two people. So it's just all something that I feel like everybody can relate to because we all love somebody, and we've all been there.
That's dope. That's super dope. Deanty, one quick question. I did forget this earlier because after this I want to get into one of your songs and I want to let you pick the song. But one question, because you got into this on one of the interviews and you were talking about the importance of social media. And once again, like I told you, we in Arkansas and a lot of artists, they need this help. You know what I'm saying? And they need to hear artists that made it and use social media to their advantage. But if you can speak on that and how it helped you to get out there.
Man, like I was saying earlier, if it wasn't for Instagram and Twitter, we wouldn't even really be having this conversation because, like, this project wouldn't have dropped the same way. It wouldn't have been the same because I wouldn't even been signed. Like, when I took the freestyling joints and just rapping in the car, it literally blew up. Like, crazy enough, the story, right before I started rapping in the car, I was finna drop a project. It was my Good mixtape from like 2016, I think. That's when we dropped it. But my partner, I was finna drop it on my birthday. And one of my OGs who used to rap and everything, I was telling him about it. I was like, yo, I'm finna drop this project. I'm excited. And then he hit me. He was like, yo, if you drop this project tomorrow, who really gonna care? Is anybody else really gonna care besides you? He was like, I know you're gonna care because it's your project. And it's like, it took me a sec to really like step back from it, to not get mad, to like step out of my body to see what he was saying from a different perspective, because he was right. He was like, yo, if I don't build up any type of any hype for this project, nobody's really gonna care. And the way the music moves so fast now, it's just gonna come and go. And I put so much time into it that I can't disrespect a project like that and just allow it to come and go. So I gotta build some type of like hype or some type of buzz for it. So that's when I started using social media to my advantage and started rapping in the car. And I'm about to say, once I got probably like 10,000 followers off of just that, that's when I dropped the tape. And the reaction I saw to it was a lot better than I would even thought about before if I wouldn't have done that.
Deanty, so, yeah, man, that right there means so much, because I'm gonna tell you what, man, you know, artists think that just being in the studio and constantly dropping stuff, it makes them feel like an artist. But what you just said, you can't disrespect your project like that. Build your fan base up, man. You just dropped something in, Deanty, for real, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate it.
Bro, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go, man. Deanty, one thing they do kind of let me do on my show, they let me play a few songs that I could just pick when I want to. But let me know what song I can play from your album, one of your favorite ones, or something, one of them that means something to you. And let's get into it, man. I want you to introduce it.
Man, you gotta play that OG. This is the first one we did. You gotta play that Feelings with Her.
I got you.
Man,
Feelings with Her by my man Deanty Hicthcock. Deanty, we appreciate you. And bro, I know you're gonna have a huge 2019, brother.
Hey man, sorry man, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Already. Y'all, this is KISS 105.3 and 1340.